Hello, and welcome to Season 6 of Rampant Pyanodon. I have no idea what we're doing this episode, but this season, we're aiming to get back to logistics science. Before I even get into the game, I got pinged from myself from the past to remember to update the underground power poles mod. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm adding the power poles to the recipes for the underground variants so that I need chromium for medium underground power poles because I need the medium power poles for the medium underground power poles now. And now we can officially launch. Okay, so I'm first greeted by a bunch of these boring messages about migrated content or whatever. So I quickly ignore these and proceed. I heard that spoilage was added, so I quickly check my chests for items that might spoil. It's very exciting. Yeah, there we have it. Brain spoil in 16 hours. We have guts in 8 hours, native flora in 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I guess the fish are magical because the fish don't spoil. Anyways, it seems like there's pressure to do stuff because all my items are going to spoil away into nothing. So first, I add some normal lamps because the old lamp Mark IIs were, again, so sad that the lamp Mark IIs didn't make it. But the Mark II lamp, yeah, the Sketchy Power Lamps mod did not make it. So now I'm stuck with these boring old lamps. I also add lamps to the 100 sub memorial where the big lamps used to be. I am not as sad about those going, but I guess it's less light variety for me. And then because the lamps aren't as powerful as the lamp Mark IIs that I had in the Sketchy Power Lamps mod, it leaves this ugly dark spot in the center. So I proceed to just immediately make a mess of my base while moving a ton of stuff in the worst way possible to get some better lighting down there. But, you know, at least I get to see the bots in action again. Anyways, next up, let's bring up the good old roadmap and decide what to work on next. Right, and now that we've restarted, I guess we could start by deleting chunks that we no longer need. Again, the goal is to remove all chunks from outside our main island, just because there's a lot of new terrain generation, also because I got alien biomes. So I want to generate the new alien biome terrain. All right, and it looks like my radars are already picking up new stuff. I already see sand and snow and grass. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Alien biomes is working and it looks beautiful. All right, let's flash up the roadmap. I did some boring stuff off screen, and then I added more lights to the left side of the logistics lake. And next up, I gotta fix my defense fronts because they're kind of missing some turrets and lights after the migration got rid of our turrets and lights. Okay, and now that we've finished defending ourselves, let's get to the main topic of the video, and that is that we are getting on rails. Designing some stations for the rail network took me a very long time. I have about 8.5 hours of recorded footage, and I didn't even record everything. So my guess is that the real design time took around like 10 or 11 hours. For my logistics train dispatcher, I've decided to go with Cybersyn. I had originally used LTN in the past, and actually before I ported over. However, LTN is not updated, or it wasn't updated to 2.0. But actually right now, as I'm speaking, LTN was updated to 2.0, but I've already designed everything in Cybersyn. Also, Optera himself, the creator of LTN, has said that it's only going to receive minimal updates, and Cybersyn is new and receiving a lot of updates and improvements regularly. So anyways, it takes me a couple of hours to familiarize myself with Cybersyn, and then I start making some of my first real design choices. I am using the mini trains mod, so let's compare those with the regular trains. The mini train has less acceleration power and lower max speed. It also has only one fuel slot versus the regular locomotives 3. Not only does this mean that it can't go nearly as far or for as long, but it also means that we can only really use a single source of global fuel. That's because if we tried to go the sushi fuel route, we couldn't guarantee that the mini train would be topped off every time it left the station. Cargo space wise, the mini train has the same amount of cargo space as a regular train, 20 stacks. The mini train surprisingly also has more fluid wagon space at 30k versus the regular wagon's 25k. I'm going to nerf the mini train to make this make more sense. Lastly, and more obviously, the final difference between these two is that the mini train is much smaller than the larger train. My final decision was to go with the mini trains. This is because capacity-wise, they are a match for the regular locomotives, which makes them much more dense as they are smaller. But obviously the price is that we have slower trains with less acceleration, and we're locked into a singular global fuel source.
Oh my god, bro.
To make the best use of their size, I have used two mods. The first one being Pie Cranes. Pie Cranes is an amazingly balanced mod with nice graphics. What it essentially does is it replaces a line of 6 inserters with a crane variant that occupies the same amount of space. This is to kind of save UPS in late game bases. Pi has 2 different standard train lengths, so there's a 3 wide and a 6 wide version, and that correlates to the power of 3 and 6 inserters. Where I've used this is by centering the pie crane. So the pie crane still grabs from the center. So the space that we need to grab from, right, it's only like 2 tiles, and we can grab from there. Basically, we can fit about 6 inserters of power and about 2 tiles of space. So if I position the wagons carefully in the middle and make use of the extra space for like the train heads, unloading, we can have the power of 6 inserters for like the space of about 2. I furthered this abuse with Bob's adjustable inserters, which allows me to stack 2 of them on top of each other. Putting this on either side of the small locomotive wagon, I have about 24x the inserter power unloading a single cart when it should only be like 4, 6, or 8 maximum. And I'm extremely proud of this design. I guess I have some level of standards. So now that I have the mini trains picked out and I've explained how I'm going to use them, I started out with a 2x4 design that I was very happy with. However, it was using the mini pie cranes. I wanted a way to use the large pie cranes to basically double my loading and unloading speed. So after some tinkering, I came up with this monstrosity.
Oh my god!
It is a 11311 design, and it is absolutely horrifying. But as a mother loves her child, I too must love my creation. It's not pretty or standard, but it has logistical reasons that it is the way it is. And honestly, it kind of grew on me. This one even allows this 11311 design allows me to have an even 100 stacks of capacity. Other design considerations that I made include limiting direct chests to ensure that the train is only called departed if it can be filled up completely. Wow, I guess that's it. I'm sure there was other ones. I'm tired. I didn't write everything down here. But anyways, I made 3 different solid designs: the max provider station, the max requester station, the mixed requester provider station, and then also a mixed requester provider for fluids. And I think my designs rock. I'm very happy with the wood, black concrete, and the normal concrete palette. After finishing these designs, I had to make the depots where the trains would rest. Originally, I had a design that kind of sagged to save space, but I liked it better when they were straightened out, so I guess we're going with aesthetics for this one. I had made 2 different depots, one for B trains for bulk, and one for L trains for liquid. I also made a refuel station that both B and L trains can refuel at, and once again, I am happy to say that I absolutely love my design. After a ton of debugging, I was happy enough with my station designs that I got the stations blueprinted up and ready for the world. Oh, right. And the rail design. I think I'm just going to wing it. And then, yeah, I'm going to wing it until it gets bad. Then if it gets bad, I'm going to take some heavy inspiration from this forum post. Okay, now that I'm back in the real world, I need to do some research in order to unlock some tech for the rail system. The first thing I do is pull out my labs from the logistics system. I rig up about 20 of them and fill them up with some science, and then I begin researching. I noticed that PyCrane 2s are buried quite deep in the tree, so I queue up a bunch of different techs to unlock PyCrane 2, and after like 5 seconds, I get impatient and decide to place down another 60 labs. I finished nitrogen stage 1, filtration, nichrome, and then I start coal processing 2 before I realize that I'm queuing research for niobium plates. And why on earth would I need to research niobium plates for PyCrane 2s? And oh my god, they're required for PyCrane 2s, aren't they? Well, it looks like we'll be using PyCrane Mark 1s for a while, so I switch gears to finish coal processing 2 before queuing up Cybersyn train network, elevated rails, and power combinator, and also the repair pack. And now that research is done, we can start placing down some stations. We start with the B&L refueler. And then we move to the B and the L depots. Shoot. I swear I had stockpiled more rails than that. All right, next we just put down all 20 trains, 10 bulk and 10 liquid bulk, and we are all set. For those of you that are astute, you may have noticed that the blueprints I'd placed down were pretty much immediately altered based on decoration, and also because I completely forgot that I'd have to put roboports in. Some of the lighting wasn't up to snuff either. I don't know how I didn't test that. And also, obviously, we don't have any fast inserters, so I had to downgrade from PyCranes 2 to PyCranes 1. But otherwise, yeah, we have the depots and we have the fuel station. We have no way to fuel the fuel station, but for now, the rail station is set in place. So that brings us to the end of the episode. I'd like to give a big thanks to my patrons, and I will see you guys in the next episode.